probably gives off the impression that I think quitting weed is this great thing, or I think I'm special because I quit weed, or I think I'm a better person than others because I quit weed. And even like just personally in my life, I'm not, just because I talk about quitting weed all, that doesn't mean like you can't smoke weed and be around me. Like I'm not going to, if I see you smoking, I'm not gonna be like, oh, put that blunt down, brother. I'm not like that. I'm not.
Okay, I don't want to hear this, dude. What's just funny to me is this like reminded me. I wanted to kind of talk about this. Do you guys like know why like one of these things? And I'm not like I'm definitely not hating on it, and I'm not I think everyone should have the ability to talk about their experiences on the internet, all that, of course. But something I noticed is like 65 days after quitting smoking weed or something like that. Bad spelling right there, right? Okay, maybe that's not the. Yeah, like here's a good example, right? Like this has been consistent for like, I don't know, like I think it's because there's so many people out there that deal with this. Maybe I don't know, or it's the algorithm getting pushed by YouTube. But people talking about their experiences quitting weed. I think it's, like I said, I'm not hating on this whatsoever, and I think it's important for people to know. But what I will say is it's become kind of like a weird, little bit of like because I watched a ton of YouTube, specifically cannabis. Like I'm pretty well into like I'm pretty in tune with like specifically cannabis content on this platform, on platform in general. And I watch a lot of YouTube and like I see things, and I will say it's either I'm wrong or it's either a bunch of people are out there that are thinking about quitting weed, but like it seems like to me like every 2 to 3 months or every 6 months there's like multiple videos that people drop, different people. They usually do pretty well numbers wise, right? Like I mean this one, I don't know how many subscribers this person has, but
this is the thinnest.
Yeah, I guess, but still, even though 274,000 subs, this blew up. This 2.1 million views.
Armor ever. Introducing hyper concealable.
I was trying to get a new job and things like that. And there was a couple other times in the past when I was trying to just get sober for my health and my mental health. But this is definitely the longest I've ever gone being completely sober. And since weed was my drug of choice, and it's also the drug that I've done for the longest time, kind of wanted to talk about what I've noticed after being sober from smoking weed for over 6 months. I do want to say that it was very hard. Every month felt like it got easier. The first couple weeks were terrible, but then a month passed and I felt better, and things were still a little rough. But after like 2 or 3 months, I finally kind of got over it. I also really wanted to quit this time. There was a lot of this being a personal choice, and I think that made it easier, but it was still super difficult to do. And now that it's been over 6 months, I gotta say that I feel great. I feel like I can't believe it was that hard at first. I'd be lying if I said I completely don't think about it, and I live in a legal state. So whenever I drive past a dispensary or whenever I kind of smell that someone is smoking nearby.
Okay, let's just jump to this comment right here. So here are the key takeaways from the video. So number one, after quitting smoking weed for 6 months, the person noticed significant improvements in their mental health, especially reduced anxiety, depression that was being amplified by daily weed use. Number two, their physical health improved with better lung capacity, easier breathing, more endurance, and a healthier relationship with food without the munchies leading to overeating. 3, they became more extroverted and their social anxiety decreased after quitting, as being constantly high had made them more introverted and uncomfortable in social situations. I get that sometimes now, actually, a little bit for sure. Like, it's funny, I mean, I'm sure many people are just like, a lot of people go up and down with their use. And I'm honestly, like I said, I'm not against these videos. I think it's, anything that's, helping people, stop their, because like you can be addicted to weed, right? You can anything, too much of anything can be bad. And, it's important for us, everyone to, moderate themselves, obviously. But yeah, no, it's definitely interesting. Let's keep going. So saving around 300 to 400 per month that was previously spent on weed. Okay, increased productivity, focus, better quality sleep, improve relationships with spouse and children. Realizing, despite believing weed helped them cope, they had developed an addiction that was negatively impacting multiple areas of their life. Definitely, some really good points there. Like everyone's different, of course. And weed can definitely fuck up your life to a certain degree. I mean, it's not like the main root cause, but it doesn't help if you're like, if you're someone that doesn't, some people aren't good with drinking, right? Some people aren't good with this or that, I think it's regardless, anything that, you're doing too much of. I mean, we all know coming up, I used to smoke like 9, 10 blunts a fucking day, like plus. And once you get older, it's just not. Some people can do it. Some people are just built, built different for it. But nose dabs. Ooh, okay. I quit long enough to pass the drug test until I learned how to use Certo. I don't recommend putting a preservative in you like that. Okay. Quitting weed is a joke. Try cigarettes instead. Yep, I agree. If we're gonna cut anything out, let's cut the alcohol out. Let's cut out the tobacco first, and then move on to whatever. Sugar is definitely harder to quit. I mean, sugar, absolutely. Nicotine, extremely difficult. Extremely difficult. It's just interesting though. I've noticed this trend. Like, I mean, like let's just keep going too. Like, there's a lot. I quit smoking weed. Right. I mean, there's a ton of these videos, dude. See right here. I quit smoking weed. How I feel after 3 months of sobriety. Weed withdrawal. Okay. 90 days without weed. My journey. Like this has got like 400K views, right? 365 days without weed. I quit. Like there is inherently like, in my opinion, and I can't be proven, and like I said, this is not necessarily a bad thing at all, but it's just funny to me because I mean, this definitely looks like it's been inflated somewhat by, the scales have been tipped a little bit by the, which, like I said, I get it. Overall, you want to not promote any sort of addictive behavior, but why I never quit smoking weed. Quitting sucks. Okay, let's.
With just a 10-step supercharged training, you're going to learn the basics of video creation.
Process of quitting smoking weed, I'm here to share with you today a few things that you should strongly consider before you finally make that decision to stop. If you're new to the channel, my name's Dr. Frank. I'm the founder of Addiction Mindset Recovery Crew, and then saying this challenge is too great, I am not a quitter. Quitting, generally speaking, is associated with fairly negative connotations. I think of someone playing in a sporting event.
Okay. Let's keep going though. So we got addiction mindset that's really been going. See, like, I think he's been like when you do YouTube, like you see different topics that do well, so you kind of double down and you keep doing stuff. I mean, like, look, this is another addiction mindset video, and like I said, I get it. By the way, too, for folks that have been like watching me for a while, I recently talked with Josh from Raw Papers. He actually sent these over. These ethereals, by the way. We got a little project in the works coming up here. But let's watch this.
In today's brief video, I want to talk to you guys about 4 signs that it's time. Sign number 2 that you should probably take a break or quit smoking weed altogether would be as if your mental or physical health is deteriorating. For me, I started to suffer from symptoms of cannabinoid hyperemesis syndrome, which I've made several.
CHS is pretty crazy. I mean, I've seen it firsthand multiple times. My brother had it. My ex-girlfriend, my girlfriend at the time had it. And it can get scary, dude. Like cannabis hyperemesis syndrome, for folks that aren't aware, it's a kind of a recent phenomenon. It came around. The name of the syndrome, right? It wasn't coined, until like 2009 or something, like very recent, But pretty much what it does is it kind of flips a switch psychologically or neurally, where your like symptoms are like your receptors are like how you deal with stress, right? It kind of flips and then it just doesn't deal with stress at all. So pretty much, for folks that aren't aware of what CHS really is, it's pretty much called the hot shower disease. You're throwing up everything. You're in constant pain. Like I said, I've taken multiple family members to the hospital to get IVs because they couldn't hold anything down / they had no nutrients. I mean, they were literally, I mean, it's just, I would say one of the most miserable times I've ever seen, my significant others, CHS is definitely real. Now, like I said, does that happen to everyone? Absolutely not. Typically people that are dabbing a lot, that are smoking, cartridges a lot. It also, we're still learning about it, but yeah, I mean, cannabis hyperemesis syndrome, pretty much if you have those problems, if you have like the only time you feel better, like you feel some relief, you're in a hot shower. That's why they call it the hot shower disease. You're coughing up everything. You're throwing up everything. I mean, so the only way to really treat it is you just have to stop weed completely. You have to cut it out completely and slowly start to reintroduce weed back into your, over time. You need to like stop for like at least like it depends. Everyone's different, but like a year or two, like it could be pretty drastic.
Several other videos on this channel, but in my opinion, one of the most respectful things I could do as someone who's pro cannabis, pro the 420 movement, pro legalization, was quit smoking weed once I started to experience symptoms of cannabinoid hyperemesis syndrome. And the reason for that is because I do acknowledge that there's benefits medicinally and recreationally. Those benefits
Okay. Point being, what I was trying to say is like, I mean, just if you want to like, let's say you got a video, let's say you got a channel with like 10,000 views or something. I mean, bro, this guy has milked this topic to death. See this right here, 365 days without weed, the best year of my life. Like, I know how YouTube works, bro. Like people get topics, people see what's hot, see what people are interested in. And so it's either two things, right? Either people are genuine. I mean, to a certain degree, they must be interested in these videos because, they want to learn for themselves or whatever. Or like I said, YouTube could be shoving this down people's throats, but it's always interesting. Like if you watch a lot of content on YouTube, cannabis related, you kind of encompass like, you get to kind of, for the most part, see pretty much everything cannabis related on the platform. It's going to go through your algorithm for the most part. And one thing they make sure of is that you see all of these, like this is another one. Like, dude, this is in the last like two years, bro.
Estrogen is killing men. In the next 60 seconds, I'm going to tell you.
And like I said, I'm not against people talking about their experiences and like helping, potentially helping others, get off something that may be damaging to their life. But it's just, it's interesting for sure, though.
In the sock. I was ordering Uber Eats. I was pushing snooze on the alarm. I was going to bed late. I was smoking a joint every day. On the way home from crying with all that food that I was coping with, I stopped at a dispensary and I bought a pack of pre-rolled joints. And I told myself, I deserve to smoke these joints. I deserve it because I've been going to the gym. That's what I would tell myself. Anytime that we tell ourselves we deserve something is when we start to fall off. Deserving more comfort is never what is the answer to excelling in my purpose. I knew that.
I will say getting comfortable, never really good for growth. But everyone's different here.
But I was coping with the pain, the painful existence of not following the calling of my conscience to be a speaker, to be a life coach and give wisdom to the world. I was holding all that in and it just died inside of me. It just rotted and ate me alive from the inside out. I was just living with that pain. Decided to stop at the dispensary and grab some joints on the way home.
I just stopping at the dispensary.
Morning and at night. And I basically just started being high all day. And this was the
Like I said, I feel it, dude. People overdo it. They oversmoke. But like I said, though, see, right, here's a good example. Here's a good example, folks. Okay, this video blows up 11 months ago, right? 600K views. You know my boy's just trying to double down on it, just like he should, bro. That's just like he should. But you know, this is another example. This is like more of like